One guy that's really standing out right now to start the season, Chicago White Sox first baseman, Munetaka Murakami. Munetaka Murakami might be a dude. He is showing off big-time power. When he was over in Japan, it was the thing that jumped off the page. He had 55 homers as a 23-year-old. So this is a guy that's always been able to slug, always been able to hit the ball out of the ballpark. But there were questions when he was a free agent. Could it translate? Would it translate? And he not only hit for power over in Japan, he did have some big-time swing and miss concerns that I think when you looked at his free agency, a lot of teams were concerned about. I call them the most polarizing free agent in this year's class. I think when you look at how it ended up going, you could see why. And he's been able to prove here early that the power is real. The power is big time. Already has, at the time of this recording, 8 homers on the season. He's one of the leaders in Major League Baseball in that category. White Sox played out in Sacramento last weekend, and he hit a grand slam over the batter's eye out there in West Sacramento at Sutter Health Park. And I think the ball still hasn't landed. Like, it's that type of power that he has and he's been able to showcase. And it's one thing to be able to hit for big-time power, but the thing that has stood out to me watching Munetaka Murakami, the average isn't insane. Like, it's not like he's hitting 300. He's hitting right around 210 right now. But the OPS is there, 900 OPS, and he's commanding the strike zone. He's drawing a ton of walks, and that is what helps guys be productive players in Major League Baseball. Has a 22% walk rate. He understands the zone. And when you're talking about guys who have big-time power, it's hard to be a productive player in the big leagues when you hit for big-time power, but you don't draw a ton of walks, where it puts so much pressure on the slug to carry you. When you're able to slug but also get on base at a really high clip, now you're talking about a much higher ceiling and a higher floor for a player. Guys who finish with their OPS in the 850, 900 range, you're talking about all-star caliber players. And so for Munetaka Murakami, if the walks are going to stay at 20% and he's going to slug in the 600s, this is a really, really solid result and outcome for the Chicago White Sox. Last year, and I know people are saying, Russ, he strikes out a ton. You're not wrong. He has about a 33% strikeout rate. If you look at last year, 4 players finished the season with a strikeout rate above 30%. New York Yankees, Ryan McMahon, James Wood on the Washington Nationals, Mike Trout on the Angels, O'Neal Cruz, and Riley Green. 5 players. And it's not something that keeps you out of a lineup, but it is something to watch, right? When you are not, when you're striking out that often, it is a bit of a concern. Only 2 guys in Major League Baseball, even with, the 5 guys that we named, only 2 guys had over 200 strikeouts last year. And that was James Wood and Riley Green. What Munetaka Murakami is on pace to do this year, he's on pace to have over 50 homers, draw over 140 walks, and strike out about 225 times. That would have led Major League Baseball last year. But if I were to tell you that a guy hit 50 homers, drew over 140 walks, there are a lot of teams, and by a lot, I mean a majority of teams in Major League Baseball that would have signed up for the 200 strikeouts, because you're going to have a guy that has an OPS in the 850s to 900 range, and you're going to have a really, really productive player. So for Munetaka Murakami, he's showing a lot of people that, hey, the power is real, and he has an ability to get on base that maybe people didn't consider. this offseason when he was a free agent. And so it'll be interesting to watch how teams adjust to him, how he continues to adjust to the league, because it's going to be hard for teams to continue to pitch him in the strike zone. And so when teams start to say, hey, you're not going to get fastballs in the zone anymore, that's when you're really going to have to see that adjustment from Munetaka Murakami. One of the other things that stood out, the hitting velocity is something that was a question coming into this season. Would he be able to hit velocity? And he seems to be able to handle that pretty well. The homer he hit the grand slam on that went over the batter's eye was a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So velocity, he's handled. The power is real. Getting on base at a high clip, strikeouts are there, but we got to keep watching to see, as the league adjusts to him, how he'll adjust back. But so far, so good for Munetaka Murakami. Now, before guys, thanks for watching this episode of The Relay with Russ Dorsey. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you have a question for me, be sure to drop it in the comments below. And we'll catch you again here next time.